The young and the restless spoilers. Something unexpected is beginning to take shape in Genoa City, and the signs are becoming impossible to ignore. For weeks, tensions have been building behind the scenes. Old rivalries have refused to die, former relationships continue to cast long shadows, and new alliances are quietly changing the balance of power. Now, as several storylines start to collide, the people involved may find themselves facing choices they never expected to make. One of the biggest developments centers around Victoria Newman. After everything her family has gone through, Victoria appears ready to take a different approach. Rather than continuing old conflicts, she seems prepared to extend an olive branch and create a new understanding with someone who has been connected to her family in complicated ways. That person is Kyle Abbott. At first glance, this might seem like a simple effort to put past disagreements behind them. After all, there has been plenty of tension between the Newman and Abbott circles over the years. But many fans are beginning to wonder whether there could be something more beneath the surface. The timing certainly feels interesting. With Newman Enterprises back in the hands of the Newman family, Victoria may feel that she no longer needs to fight every battle. Instead, she can focus on rebuilding relationships and creating stability for the future. That mindset could explain why she suddenly appears more willing to make peace. However, peace sometimes opens the door to unexpected possibilities. As Victoria and Kyle spend more time in each other's orbit, questions naturally begin to emerge. What starts as mutual respect can sometimes evolve into something neither person intended. Even the smallest moments, a shared conversation, a supportive gesture, a genuine understanding, can slowly change the dynamic between two people. And if that happens, the consequences could be enormous. The reason is simple: Claire. Claire already has her own history with Kyle, and any growing connection between Victoria and Kyle would instantly create a complicated emotional situation. No one involved may be looking for drama, but in Genoa City, drama often finds people whether they want it or not. While those questions continue to develop, another conflict is reaching a boiling point across town. At the Shadow Room, tensions that were once hidden beneath polite smiles are now becoming impossible to contain. Two strong personalities are preparing for another confrontation, and neither woman appears willing to back down. Sienna Bacall and Audra Charles have already exchanged sharp words before. Their previous encounter made it clear that there is very little trust between them. Every conversation seems to carry an edge, and every interaction feels like a challenge. Now the situation is escalating. Sienna has never been the type to stay silent when she believes she is being disrespected. Audra, meanwhile, is equally determined and rarely allows anyone to intimidate her. When two people with that much confidence find themselves on opposite sides of a conflict, sparks are almost guaranteed to fly. Those around them can already sense the growing hostility. Friends, co-workers, and observers may try to stay out of the middle, but that becomes increasingly difficult when emotions begin running this high. One wrong comment or one misunderstood remark could be enough to turn an uncomfortable disagreement into a full-scale confrontation. As Wednesday's events unfold, viewers will see whether either woman is willing to step back or whether their rivalry is destined to become even more intense. And while conflict dominates one part of Genoa City, a completely different story is unfolding elsewhere. A story about love. A story about commitment. And a reminder that some romances can survive the test of time. Danny Romalotti has something special planned, and the surprise he is preparing could leave Christine seeing him in an entirely new light. After all these years, their connection remains remarkably strong. Through challenges, changes, and unexpected twists, they have continued finding their way back to each other. That kind of relationship is rare, and Danny seems determined to prove that romance does not disappear simply because time has passed. But what exactly does he have planned? That answer may change everything. The young and the restless spoilers. As Genoa City moves into another dramatic day, the tension surrounding Victoria Newman and Kyle Abbott continues to attract attention from those around them. What makes this situation so interesting is that neither Victoria nor Kyle appears to be actively looking for trouble. In fact, both seem focused on moving forward with their lives. Yet sometimes the most complicated situations begin when people least expect them. Victoria has spent years protecting her family and fighting for what she believes is right. She has faced personal heartbreak, business battles, and family conflicts that would have overwhelmed almost anyone else. Those experiences have shaped her into a strong and determined woman. Now, however, something feels different. Instead of preparing for another fight, Victoria appears ready to leave old arguments in the past. Her recent willingness to call a truce has surprised many people, especially those who know how fiercely protective she can be. Kyle, meanwhile, finds himself at an important crossroads in his own life. Recent events have forced him to re-evaluate relationships, priorities, and future plans. Like many people in Genoa City, he has learned that life can change in an instant. One decision can alter everything, and one unexpected conversation can lead to a completely different path. That is why their growing understanding has captured so much attention. At first, it may simply be mutual respect. Both individuals understand the pressures that come with being part of powerful families. Both know what it feels like to carry expectations on their shoulders. And both have experienced moments when personal happiness seemed impossible to find. Shared experiences often create unexpected connections. The more two people understand each other's struggles, the easier it becomes for meaningful conversations to develop. Those conversations can build trust, and trust can sometimes create feelings that neither person anticipated. Of course, there is one major complication that cannot be ignored. Claire. Even though no one is suggesting that anything romantic is happening yet, the possibility alone is enough to raise questions. Claire's history with Kyle means that any change in the relationship dynamic could become emotionally complicated. How would Claire react if she noticed Victoria and Kyle growing closer? Would she support them? Would she feel uncomfortable? Or would she find herself caught between two people she deeply cares about? At the moment, those questions remain unanswered. However, viewers know that Genoa City rarely keeps secrets hidden for very long. While uncertainty surrounds Victoria and Kyle, a completely different storm is gathering at the Shadow Room. The atmosphere there has become increasingly tense, and much of that tension revolves around Audra Charles and Sienna Bacall. Their rivalry did not appear overnight. Instead, it has grown steadily through uncomfortable encounters, sharp comments, and lingering resentment. Each interaction seems to leave both women more frustrated than before. Neither one appears interested in backing down. Sienna believes in standing her ground. She refuses to allow anyone to push her around or question her confidence. That determination has helped her navigate difficult situations in the past, but it can also create conflict when she encounters someone equally strong-willed. That is exactly what she has found in Audra. Audra possesses the kind of confidence that immediately commands attention. She is intelligent, ambitious, and fully capable of defending herself when challenged. Those qualities have helped her succeed, but they have also made her a formidable opponent. When these two women share the same room, tension becomes unavoidable. Observers can feel it almost immediately. A simple conversation quickly becomes a competition. An innocent comment suddenly sounds like an insult. Every glance seems to carry hidden meaning. The situation has reached the point where many people are wondering whether a major confrontation is inevitable. The opening of the Shadow Room already demonstrated how fragile the relationship between Audra and Sienna has become. What should have been a positive event instead highlighted the growing hostility between them. Now that emotions are running even higher, things could become much worse. One possibility is that their latest confrontation forces both women to finally express what has truly been bothering them. Sometimes conflicts grow because important issues remain unspoken. If that is the case, honesty could provide a path forward. But honesty can also create bigger problems. If harsh truths are revealed, old wounds may reopen. Resentment that has been quietly building for weeks could suddenly explode into the open. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Genoa City, Danny Romalotti is focused on something far more positive. Unlike the conflict surrounding Audra and Sienna, Danny's attention is centered on love and appreciation. He has been carefully planning a surprise for Christine, hoping to remind her just how much she means to him. For Danny, this is not simply about romance. It is about gratitude. It is about recognizing everything they have experienced together and celebrating the bond they continue to share. Christine has always been one of the most important people in his life. Through good times and difficult moments, she has remained a constant source of support, understanding, and encouragement. Now Danny wants to give something back. What he has planned remains a mystery, but one thing is clear: his gesture comes straight from the heart. And when Christine finally discovers what Danny has prepared, she may find herself looking at her husband in a way she never expected. The young and the restless spoilers. As the day continues in Genoa City, emotions begin running higher than ever, and several relationships find themselves approaching important turning points. For some, these moments bring hope. For others, they bring uncertainty. And for a few people, they may change everything. One of the biggest questions continues to revolve around Victoria Newman and Kyle Abbott. While their recent interactions have appeared friendly and respectful, those around them cannot help noticing a subtle shift in the atmosphere whenever they are together. Sometimes relationships evolve gradually. There is no dramatic moment. No grand declaration. No sudden realization. Instead, two people slowly begin understanding each other in ways they never did before. Shared conversations become more meaningful. Casual encounters become something they look forward to. Trust begins to grow where distance once existed. That possibility is exactly what has captured everyone's attention. Victoria has spent much of her life balancing family responsibilities with personal sacrifices. She knows better than most people that relationships are rarely simple. Every decision carries consequences, especially when family members are involved. Because of that, she understands how sensitive the situation could become. Kyle faces a similar challenge. He knows that every choice he makes affects more than just himself. His connections to the Newman family have already created complicated situations in the past, and he has no desire to create additional problems. Yet emotions do not always follow logic. The heart rarely asks permission before creating unexpected feelings. That is why some observers are beginning to wonder whether Victoria's decision to call a truce may eventually lead to something neither of them anticipated. For now, however, both appear focused on friendship and mutual respect. But in Genoa City, even the simplest relationships can quickly become far more complicated. Especially if Claire starts noticing changes herself. Claire has already experienced enough emotional challenges to last a lifetime. The last thing she needs is another situation that forces her to question where she stands with the people she cares about most. Yet circumstances may soon place her in exactly that position. Would she see the situation as harmless? Would she view it as a betrayal? Or would she recognize that sometimes people cannot control where their feelings lead them? The answers remain uncertain. What is certain, however, is that emotions are becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Meanwhile, across town, another relationship is moving in a very different direction. Instead of growing closer, Audra Charles and Sienna Bacall appear to be moving further apart with every passing conversation. The tension between them has become impossible to miss. What began as sharp remarks and uncomfortable exchanges now feels like a genuine rivalry. Neither woman seems willing to compromise. Neither wants to be the first to back down. And neither appears interested in pretending that everything is fine. As a result, their latest encounter may become one of the most memorable confrontations viewers have seen in weeks. The environment at the Shadow Room only adds to the pressure. With people constantly watching and conversations spreading quickly, even a small disagreement can become the center of attention. That creates additional challenges for both women. Every word matters. Every reaction matters. Every decision matters. One emotional response could have consequences neither woman expects. Audra understands that reputation can be important. She knows how quickly perceptions can change when conflict becomes public. Sienna understands this as well. Yet despite those risks, neither appears willing to simply walk away. Sometimes pride becomes stronger than caution. Sometimes frustration becomes stronger than patience. And sometimes people reach a point where they feel they must stand up for themselves regardless of the consequences. That may be exactly where Audra and Sienna find themselves now. As viewers watch their rivalry unfold, many will be asking the same question. How far will this conflict go? Will someone intervene before things become too serious? Or will emotions continue escalating until a major confrontation becomes unavoidable? While those questions remain unanswered, a much more positive story continues developing elsewhere. Danny Romalotti is preparing to deliver the surprise he has been carefully planning for Christine. Unlike the uncertainty surrounding other relationships, Danny's intentions are crystal clear. He wants Christine to feel loved. He wants her to feel appreciated. And most importantly, he wants her to understand that their relationship remains just as important to him today as it was years ago. That kind of commitment is rare. Many relationships struggle to maintain their spark over time. Daily responsibilities, unexpected challenges, and life's countless distractions can gradually weaken even the strongest connections. Danny and Christine have faced those challenges too. Yet somehow they continue finding reasons to choose each other. That is what makes their story special. It is not simply about romance. It is about loyalty. It is about friendship. It is about two people who have repeatedly proven that they are stronger together than apart. As Danny finalizes his plans, excitement continues building. What exactly has he prepared? Will it be a grand romantic gesture? A meaningful surprise connected to their history? Or perhaps something deeply personal that reminds Christine of the journey they have shared together? Whatever the answer may be, early signs suggest that Christine will be deeply touched by the effort. In fact, those close to the couple believe this moment could strengthen their bond even further. At a time when so many relationships in Genoa City are filled with uncertainty, Danny and Christine offer something different. A reminder that love can survive. A reminder that commitment still matters. And a reminder that sometimes the most powerful gestures come from the heart. But as one romance grows stronger, new questions continue emerging elsewhere. And before this dramatic chapter comes to an end, even bigger surprises may still be waiting. The young and the restless spoilers. As evening approaches in Genoa City, the emotional pressure surrounding several key relationships continues to build. What began as a series of separate situations is now starting to feel connected in unexpected ways. Everyone seems to be standing at a crossroads. Some are trying to protect relationships. Others are fighting to defend their pride. And a few are unknowingly moving toward life-changing decisions. For Victoria Newman, the decision to call a truce may have seemed simple at first. After everything that has happened within the Newman family, choosing peace instead of conflict felt like the right thing to do. But sometimes even the most innocent decisions create consequences nobody can predict. The more Victoria interacts with Kyle Abbott, the more comfortable their conversations become. There is no obvious agenda. No secret plan. No hidden motive. Instead, there appears to be something much more dangerous. Understanding. When two people genuinely understand each other, emotional walls often begin to disappear. Defenses slowly weaken. Conversations become more personal. Trust grows naturally. And that is exactly why some people are beginning to pay closer attention. Victoria and Kyle share something that many others may not fully appreciate. Both know what it feels like to carry the expectations of powerful families. Both understand the pressure that comes from constantly being judged by others. That common ground creates a connection. At first, it may seem harmless. But emotional connections have a way of becoming stronger over time. Neither Victoria nor Kyle appears to be rushing toward anything. In fact, both seem completely focused on maintaining a respectful friendship. Yet friendships sometimes become more complicated than anyone expects. Especially when unresolved feelings, family history, and emotional vulnerability become involved. Meanwhile, Claire remains completely unaware of just how many questions people are beginning to ask. If rumors start spreading, she could find herself facing one of the most difficult situations of her life. Claire cares deeply about her mother. She also shares a complicated history with Kyle. Trying to balance those emotions would not be easy for anyone. Would she accept the situation? Would she feel hurt? Would she struggle to understand how things reached that point? These possibilities continue hanging in the background, creating a sense of uncertainty that grows stronger with every passing moment. However, while speculation continues surrounding Victoria and Kyle, the situation involving Audra Charles and Sienna Bacall is no longer based on speculation. Their conflict is very real. And it is becoming increasingly difficult to control. The tension that first appeared during the Shadow Room opening has evolved into something much more serious. What once seemed like personality differences now feels like a genuine personal rivalry. Every interaction adds fuel to the fire. Every disagreement increases frustration. Every encounter pushes both women closer to their breaking point. Neither Audra nor Sienna enjoys losing. That fact alone makes their rivalry dangerous. Both women are confident. Both are determined. And both believe they deserve respect. When strong personalities collide, compromise often becomes the first casualty. People around them have already started noticing the growing hostility. Conversations become uncomfortable whenever the two women are mentioned together. Friends and acquaintances find themselves carefully choosing their words, hoping to avoid becoming caught in the middle. Unfortunately, avoiding the conflict may no longer be possible. The situation appears to be reaching a stage where a direct confrontation becomes unavoidable. And when that moment arrives, emotions could easily take control. Audra has built a reputation for standing her ground no matter the circumstances. She refuses to let intimidation influence her decisions. Sienna possesses the same determination. That means neither woman is likely to retreat. Instead, viewers may witness a battle of wills unlike anything seen between them before. As exciting as that may sound, the consequences could be significant. Relationships can be damaged. Trust can be destroyed. And words spoken in anger often create wounds that take a long time to heal. While those tensions continue escalating, another storyline provides a welcome reminder that not every relationship in Genoa City is filled with conflict. Danny Romalotti's surprise for Christine is finally beginning to take shape. The anticipation surrounding his romantic gesture continues growing, and everyone who knows the couple understands why. Their relationship has survived challenges that would have ended many romances long ago. Time, distance, personal struggles, unexpected obstacles. They have faced all of them together. That history makes Danny's surprise even more meaningful. This is not simply a romantic gesture designed to impress someone. It is an expression of gratitude, an expression of commitment, and perhaps most importantly, an expression of enduring love. Danny wants Christine to know that she remains one of the most important people in his world. He wants her to feel valued. He wants her to feel appreciated. And he wants her to understand that even after all these years, his feelings have never faded. For Christine, that realization may prove deeply emotional. Life moves quickly. People become busy. Important feelings sometimes go unspoken. Moments like this provide an opportunity to slow down and remember what truly matters. That is exactly what Danny hopes to accomplish. As the evening unfolds, viewers will finally begin seeing the results of his careful planning. And based on early hints, the surprise may leave Christine completely speechless. Yet even as romance blossoms in one corner of Genoa City, uncertainty continues growing elsewhere. The rivalry between Audra and Sienna is approaching a critical stage. Victoria and Kyle continue raising questions they may not even realize they are creating. And Claire's future reaction remains one of the biggest mysteries of all. The stage is now set for revelations, emotional confrontations, and unexpected twists. And the biggest developments may still be ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers. As another unforgettable chapter unfolds in Genoa City, the lives of several residents appear closer than ever to dramatic change. Relationships are being tested, emotions are becoming harder to hide, and the future remains uncertain for nearly everyone involved. What makes this situation so fascinating is that each storyline carries its own unique tension. Some are driven by conflict. Some are driven by love. And some are driven by possibilities that nobody expected to see coming. Victoria Newman finds herself at the center of one of those possibilities. When she first decided to call a truce with Kyle Abbott, her goal seemed straightforward. She wanted to move beyond old disagreements and create a more positive atmosphere moving forward. Given everything her family has recently endured, choosing peace felt like the mature and responsible path. But life is rarely that simple. The more Victoria and Kyle interact, the more people around them begin noticing subtle changes. Their conversations feel easier. Their understanding appears deeper. Their mutual respect continues growing. Neither of them may be thinking about romance. Neither of them may even realize why others are paying attention. Yet the possibility continues lingering in the background. Sometimes the strongest relationships begin with friendship. Sometimes unexpected connections develop when people are not actively searching for them. And sometimes fate places two individuals together at exactly the moment they need someone who truly understands them. Whether that is happening here remains unclear. But one thing is certain. Questions are beginning to surface. And those questions become even more complicated because of Claire. Claire's connection to both individuals creates a delicate emotional situation. Any significant change in the relationship between Victoria and Kyle would inevitably affect her as well. That is why so many people are watching carefully. Not because anything dramatic has happened yet, but because everyone understands how quickly circumstances can change in Genoa City. A simple friendship today could become something entirely different tomorrow. Meanwhile, the conflict between Audra Charles and Sienna Bacall appears to be reaching its most intense stage yet. Neither woman has shown any sign of backing down. If anything, their determination seems stronger than ever. The rivalry that once consisted of subtle remarks and uncomfortable interactions has evolved into a full-fledged battle of personalities. Every encounter feels charged with emotion. Every conversation carries tension. Every glance seems to communicate far more than words ever could. The biggest problem is that neither woman believes she is wrong. Audra feels justified. Sienna feels justified. And when both sides are convinced they are right, finding common ground becomes extremely difficult. As a result, their latest confrontation could have lasting consequences. Relationships with friends may be affected. Professional opportunities could become complicated. And reputations may be tested. Sometimes conflicts create winners and losers. Other times, everyone involved pays a price. Viewers will soon discover which outcome awaits Audra and Sienna. Yet amid all the uncertainty, one storyline offers a refreshing reminder that happiness is still possible. Danny Romalotti's surprise for Christine finally comes into focus. After carefully planning every detail, Danny delivers a heartfelt gesture that perfectly reflects the depth of his feelings. The moment is not about extravagance. It is not about showing off. Instead, it is about sincerity. Danny wants Christine to know that she remains the love of his life. He wants her to understand that the years they have shared together are something he treasures every single day. Most importantly, he wants her to feel appreciated. For Christine, the surprise becomes an emotional experience. Sometimes people become so focused on everyday responsibilities that they forget to express what truly matters. Danny refuses to let that happen. His actions remind Christine of the bond they have built together and the countless memories they continue creating. The result is a touching moment that strengthens their relationship even further. In a city filled with secrets, rivalries, and unexpected twists, Danny and Christine provide something rare: hope. Their story proves that lasting love is possible. It proves that commitment still has value. And it proves that meaningful relationships require effort, appreciation, and trust. As Wednesday's episode comes to a close, several important questions remain unanswered. Will Victoria and Kyle's growing friendship remain exactly what it is today? Or will deeper feelings eventually emerge? How will Claire react if circumstances become more complicated? Can Audra and Sienna find a way to resolve their differences? Or is their rivalry destined to become even more explosive? And what new surprises are waiting just around the corner in Genoa City? For now, viewers can only watch and wonder. Because if there is one thing fans have learned over the years, it is that nothing stays quiet for long in Genoa City. New alliances form. Old rivalries return. Unexpected emotions surface. And when least expected, everything can change in an instant. The drama is only beginning, and the next chapter may be even more shocking than the last. END.